That's good. Not good. All right, welcome back to the channel. I've just purchased this skid steer for $4,500 at the auction. It's a Cat 216 made in 2001. Now this was an Iron Planet auction, which if you're not familiar with, it's an online only auction. You can't actually view the item beforehand, but they do have inspectors that go and look the item over and take pictures and test it and that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, in this case, this was inoperable. So there wasn't a lot of information about it. There was, I think, 40 pictures of it. So I'll put it up on screen here, but you can see it opened for $4,500. I was the first bidder on it and no one else bidded, so I got it for $45,000, 3,354 hours. And then they couldn't test it because it says here, it has been reported that the engine is seized, which that sounds kind of like hearsay to me. I don't know if I actually believe that. Diesel tank cap is missing and the battery appears to be dead. So really what that means is I've never actually seen this in person until just now, or when I was unloading it actually. So I guess let's go over it, take a look. Full disclosure, I did buy a couple manuals for it just to answer some questions. The first being, can you make it freewheel if the engine's seized up? And it turns out you cannot. That's why I had to drag it off the trailer there and roll it over here on these. But anyway, let's take a look at it. So no attachment, obviously. The do not operate tag. Remarks, blowing up. Okay. Inside is actually not too bad, pretty clean. It's just, I mean, it's dirty, but it's not like rusted out or anything. Well, it is, it's got rust, but not a lot of it. Just needs a little bit of a cleaning. How loose is this? Not terrible. Then up front, it looks like they have a plate welded over the original roof. I'm not sure, let me get up here. Not sure what that's about. Looks like maybe something dropped on it and then they added this to protect it and then dropped again, or maybe it was leaking, I don't know. Tires are shot, of course. I mean, it's not beat up really, it's actually, it's all there. This is not what I'm used to on this channel. Let's check the engine out. I did do some research. This is not actually technically a Cat engine. It's a Perkins diesel. I think Cat purchased Perkins and then used these engines in the skid steer. This is the non-turbo version, which is very important because if the engine is blown up, the turbo blocks are incredibly hard to find, if not impossible. Although it sounds like you can modify the non-turbo block, but it's expensive. You have to remachine a few things. It does have a battery. Sure, that's no good. Ooh, what's that? Oil filter. December 2022, 3248 hours. What does this have? It's 3,500 hours on it. Yeah, I mean, it's all complete. This is great. All right. Does that go up? Oh, there we go. Whew. Oh, good. That shock works. Let's see. Oh, look. It's a little overfull. Smells good. Oh. Oh, it's full all the way with coolant. That's a good sign. I'm sure this engine's probably fine. Why wouldn't it be? Well, these have clearly been off before. Sure, it's unrelated to the engine being seized. Uh-oh. Okay, that seems a little frozen. That's a little frozen. Okay, I believe him. This hasn't been open for a while. Actually looks pretty good in here. Just dirty, but everything's in order. Nothing's hacked up. There is a leak over here on the pilot control. That's an easy enough thing to fix. Looks like there's plenty of space to work on that. This side's okay. It just needs a really good washing. Probably hard to see in the sunlight here. Let me see if I can. It's all here. So far though, this machine looks like it was maintained. I mean, it's really dirty, but nothing's missing or hacked up. I bet there's a special tool to pull these out, and it probably looks a lot like this. There we go. Ooh. There we go. Yep, 3 on here. Oof. This one looks a lot cleaner. Number 3 had a lot of junk on it. Can I put this in there? Well, we'll look at them later in a better light, but 1, 2, and 4 looked okay. 3 was really had a lot of grossness on it. So, all right, I measured the tips of these injectors. These are 7 millimeters in diameter, and I happen to have another bore scope here that has a 5 millimeter diameter probe. Unfortunately, unlike my other one, it only has one camera. It doesn't have a side camera, so there's probably not a whole lot that we're gonna be able to see in here. But if there's any catastrophic damage, hopefully it shows up here. So hopefully 1 and 4 are up, because 2 and 3 were the injectors with the goop on them. Can you go in there? Oh, there we go. There we go, piston. Okay, well, I can't see anything. That's good though, 1's up. So that means 4 is gonna be up, that means 2 and 3 will be down. Can't really see anything in there. It is there, so that's a good sign. Let's check 4. There you are. In, nice. Yeah, that's up there pretty far. All right, well, let's check 2. There's some of that goop. There we go. Oh, great, it's all dirty. Okay, hold on a second. Go. Okay, well, that doesn't look too... Oh, man, I see cross-hatching in the cylinder there. Piston's not melted, is it? What's going on down there? Oh, this is great. I can turn it and get some kind of more... Well, I don't see anything melty in there. Doesn't look like it should be seized. All right, let's try number 3. 2 look pretty good to me, at least to me. Okay. But I still see crosshatch there. A little bit of carbon on the left side there. The center looks really shiny. I'm not sure what that's about. Did 2 look like that? No, 2 is not like that. 3 looks a little bit weird. All right, maybe we should pull the oil filter and see. This feels like it's empty. Is it empty? Oh, it's completely unused. Yeah, nothing in there. I think I'm following in someone else's footsteps as far as debugging here. Someone obviously pulled the old one out, because there's still used oil in it, right? And there's still used oil in it. So they must have pulled the filter to check to see if there was, bearing material in there. The fact that they put a new one back on, though, kind of tells me that they didn't find anything, right? Maybe I should drain the oil. I think it drains through this hose. It's hooked down to where the drain plug would be, but there's so much junk in here. It's about 4 inches thick in here. There's a little spigot in there, so let me see you get it around this thing. Oh yeah, I think I got it loose. Okay. Where's the oil? Oh, there we go. It's not really coming out as you'd expect. It's come out that much. Well, it's drained about maybe a quart of sludge here. Well, just for fun, we'll take a sample here and send it off to Blackstone. They always take forever, but whatever. This is gonna Be interesting to see, I guess. All right, guys, so this oil drained out overnight, and there's a little over 2 gallons in here, so that's the right amount of oil. It was draining out slow. I was a little bit freaked out about it, but I think that's just because that little spigot that you have to open, just the opening for that's tiny. I ran a magnet through it, didn't pick anything up. I've kind of dumped it into other containers and back in, and there's no glitter or anything from like bearing material. Don't see anything bad here. Oh, what's that? That might just be dirt. That is a stink bug. I don't see anything wrong here. Everything looks fine. You can get in there more, but it's just, there's nothing, no goop or anything, no glitter. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong here. All right, we got 2 fuel water separators here. Let's need to get them out of the way, so let's just see if there's any water in here. That one looks pretty good. The fuel cap was missing, so I'm guessing that went missing later, and whenever they were running it, they probably had a fuel cap on it. Maybe they stole it for another machine or something. Goes this way. There we go. A little bit of rust in here. And this machine really does seem like it was cared for, except for the dirt in here. Okay. Oh, easy, don't spill. Yeah, this looks pretty good. You can see that spigot in there now. I need to get all this dirt out of here. Get this hose clamp off. Ooh. Brass, it's fancy. There's like a layer of dirt between the oil pan and the this tub on the bottom here. There's really no way to remove the tub, from what I can tell, so. There's a fair amount of dirt in there, by the way. Now you're probably wondering, why am I taking the time to do this? Why not just rip the engine out? And the answer for that is, if you're watching the channel, you'll know I currently have an excavator completely taken apart, and I'm trying to put it back together. I just can't, I don't have enough brain power to do 2 of these at the same time. Second reason is, I believe this engine does not have liners in it. So if it has seized up, there's a good possibility that the block is bad. And if that's the case, I need to find out now, so I can start looking for a block. I'd hate to take this all apart and then it takes me like a year to find a new block. And then at that time I've forgotten, you know, how everything goes back together. Oh, there's the pickup. Let's see if we can look in there. Looks pretty clean. Kind of really close to the camera there. Let's go back. I guess this would be back this direction. I am on the side camera right now. I'll switch over in a sec to the other one, but what's that? That's a dipstick. And we're going that way. Anyway, unless something is catastrophically wrong, we're not going to really see anything. I mean, let's be honest, the biggest culprit here is most likely a seized bearing, because there is no movement. And you're not really usually going to see that when it's still assembled like this, unless it's really bad, like it got really hot or something. And this is the back. I mean, everything seems to be where it belongs. And there's rod number 1, 2. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and start removing the battery and starter. They have to come out anyway, and I wanna make sure, like, you know, just in the off chance that maybe the starter exploded and jammed up the flywheel or something. I've seen stuff like that happen before. You might also wonder if maybe the injection pump is seized and that's what's holding the engine up. There would be some backlash between the injection pump gear and the crank gear, and this crank is not moving at all, so I'm pretty sure it's not the injection pump. Oh, that's stuck. Okay. So much more room. Oh, that was easy. Well, nothing wrong with the starter. The last hope I have here is, you know, the pump is directly coupled to the engine, but there is like a nylon disc in there that it runs through, which I'm assuming is supposed to shatter if you know, the pump gets seized up or something. So let's just take a quick peek in here, just see, maybe make sure like that hasn't happened. See, nope. So that part on the right there is definitely nylon. It looks in good condition. That all looks fine, so that's not our problem. Anyway, let's get the engine out. Okay, either coolant or oil should come out of here. The hope is coolant. And someone was definitely maintaining this thing. Can I get this out without, okay, thank goodness. I think this is like some kind of timer where you're supposed to push it every time you check the filter. Oh yeah, it says right there, huh? Disconnect the coolant overflow hose here, because we got to remove this whole thing. I have to remove this whole hydraulic cooler. Oh man. This is gonna be fun. Ugh. Can you? That's easier. That's good. No RTV, that's a good sign. All right, we gotta take these lines off. These are for the hydraulic cooler. They're gonna be full of hydraulic fluid. I do have some caps here, and I read ahead, it's either JIC 37 or it's O-ring face. So I got some here. Either way, hopefully it's one of those. Okay. And this is O-ring face. This one, wrong size, of course. Good thing I took my gloves off. Otherwise I'd have hydraulic fluid all over my hand. pink hydraulic fluid. I thought, when I first saw it come out, I thought it was diesel. These out of the way. There we go. Okay. Just need to find a place to grab onto this. I think it said weighs about 100 pounds. Oh, I got it. That latch is probably in. That's probably not good. There we go. Uh-oh. The light outlet was sitting in the mud. It kind of tripped the GFCI there. Uh-oh. Easy. There we go. Look at all this room in here. This is going to be easy now to get this thing out. All right, let's get these exhaust bolts to snap off into the manifold. Oh, that one's good. Okay, let's try this one again. I'm using the dead blow, not a normal hammer. Gives you a little bit of springiness. All right. Man, really lucked out on that. Oh, that's heavy. That's a heavy one. Did that just come out? This is the last wire.
I got it.
What?
I did on the skidsteer goes on there.
Just to show you what's going on here. So this is the main pump, and it's basically just hanging straight off of the engine unsupported. So I need to get something underneath it to kind of hold it in place. And then there's two bolts that hold it to the, I guess you call it the bell housing, that hold the pump on. They're really hard to get into. They're way in there, but I think I can reach them. I did notice one more leak. This hose coming off of, this is the hydraulic tank right here. And there's just a hose clamp on there, so that's they probably over tightened it and wrecked the hose. That should be an easy fix. I guess I just have to drain the tank to do that, which is kind of annoying. Besides that, everything looks pretty good in here. There was a ton of dirt down here. Like I just reached in, I grabbed like a hammer head and then the handle over there. Not sure what that's about, but you know, this thing is in decent condition. It's just really dirty. All right, not easy getting those 2 bolts out that are in the bell housing. I had to remove a couple lines and cap them. There are some zip ties on some of these, so either the pump's been out before or they just replaced lines. Probably just replaced lines. Anyway, I got this strap going underneath it, so hopefully that holds it up. And I think we're about ready to pull the engine. Get these mounting bolts loose first. This should come out. Uh-oh. There we go. It's splitting. There's so much dirt right here. It's not, I need to be able to slide it forward, so we'll oh, there we go. I think it's just going to clear that bumper. We still stuck on something? We're still stuck on something. Oh, there's a ground strap in the very back. Shoot. This thing's gonna want to go down the hill. The oil pan basically just sitting on this. It's probably not great for vibration. The pump turns, so that's good. Then drop that wrench in here. There's just so much dirt in here. Look at this. It's incredible. You know, no lock washers on this machine. I guess this must have been around the time when they figured out that lock washers don't do anything. So this, I guess, is designed to explode if your pump seizes and not take out your engine, I'm guessing. I don't know. There it is. Should probably check to see if the engine's still frozen. That would suck if it wasn't getting this far. Okay, we're still good. Still frozen. Now I know you're saying, Matt, what are you doing? Aren't you putting your excavator back together right now? Or shouldn't you be doing that? Yes, but I've been waiting on parts for it. So I had I had a couple days where I could do this. Basically, I just want to get the ball rolling on this. I mean, I most likely am not going to need a new block, but I'm probably going to need like a new crankshaft, I'm guessing. Maybe some rods. A brand new crankshaft from Cat is 2,000 bucks. So it'd be nice to find maybe a good used one, which is going to take some time probably to locate. The excavator is still top priority for the most part. Ooh. I have a feeling this has sat for a while. This O-ring out of here without scratching everything. There we go. There is really not much to this engine. It's a nice thing about this older stuff is there's no emissions or electronics or anything. I put some of the stuff back on before pressure washing it. So we got 1, 2, 3. It's out of here. It's like it's threaded into the block right there. The length of this seems completely unnecessary. My goodness. I believe this is the return line from the injector bleed off. Actually, maybe we'll leave that one on there, take that off. Nope. So this is just the filter house, or I guess it's just the fuel water separator housing. It's really, well, this is a surprise to me, but this injection pump, this is all part of the block casting. There's just this part on the front, which this is probably the governor or something. And then all this stuff's, all the guts are inside. Just need something to wedge in here so it can't spin. There we go. Everything's a weird size on here. You have to take these off too, I guess. That would make sense, huh? What do we got going on here? Whoa! Knew that was going to happen. Ooh. Now I'm sure all this stuff is fine. I mean, this was only, what, 2,500 hours? And this engine was obviously cared for a little bit at least. Straight. When I opened this before, there was obviously no bent valves or anything like that because everything was in contact where it should be. Clearly all the valve springs are back where they should be. Yeah, nothing's locked up here. All right. Oh, whoopsies. Yes. Yes. Nice. Nice. Last one. All right. There is not a lot of torque on these. Are these head bolts right here? Yes, they are. Shoot. No surprises. The cylinder walls, we'll look at them closer here, but they look pretty good. I remember seeing on the bore scope, one of them looked a little bit shiny, but I don't see that here. I mean, head gasket looks good, obviously. Weren't really expecting to see anything there. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Obviously can't check 1 and 4, but if I can get a good 2 and 3 look good. A little bit of vertical scoring there. You can see that. No surprises on the head. Everything's looking okay here. Can't believe this worked. Usually I need the air for that, but this engine's like a toy. It's so small. Sound? Oh, that's coming out. Multiple different sizes. Those are always fun to remember where they go. There we go. Get it off that dowel. I think we got to take this off. There's some kind of spring on here on the governor or whatever this thing is. Maybe not. I don't see it. Oh, this spring right here is what's causing the problem. Duh. It's like, why is there a spring pulling it back? There we go. Jeez. Can I just pull this spring off? Seems like a bad idea. Should probably have looked at the manual before doing this. Yeah, there we go. That'll probably help somehow. I mean, I see ways I can do it, but I'm not sure on how you would actually get this thing back together is what I'm more worried about now. There's like a little C-clamp on here. Nope, just lost it. But now I can pull this dowel out. Maybe, there we go. Oh. So it looks like we got a 3 mark, a 1 mark, and a 1 mark. And then on the crank here, I see a 3 mark right there. There's a 2 mark, and there's a 2 mark. Okay, so that's how it's all timed. That should be easy. One. Easy. 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 Looks okay. Don't really see any dings or anything. Journals are fine. All right, I'm gonna have to read up what to do about this thing, how to get it out. It looks like you might just pull this out and pull this up, but oh. Yeah, so we have, where did that go? Here's some stuff. Not sure what that is. We'll check it out though. It looks like possible bearing. I saw a lot more stuff right when I pulled this out, but maybe it's kind of just hiding in here. I can feel it. Oh, there we go. That doesn't look good. What is that? Is that aluminum? I can feel chunks in here. All right, well, we got some pieces of, I think this is aluminum, and this is a chunk of aluminum. That's magnetic. So yeah, we got some, there's just a lot of stuff in here. Actually, what we got to do here is take a look at this oil pump. I kind of forgot about that. So it runs right up here off of the crankshaft. And it's hex bolt. All right, guys, you are not going to believe this. This whole housing, this is supposed to be one piece. Look at this. It just blew up. So that, I mean, that right there is what killed the engine, obviously. This is an aluminum, and it's very thin, cheap pot metal, pretty much. But it's just aluminum here, and it just shattered, and then, you know, the oil pump died. And this thing feels like it weighs about as much as 3 pennies. I'm not joking. This is like really light. Feels like cardboard almost. So, wow. Okay, well, I think we're getting closer to what happened. Shouldn't be much water in here. Okay guys, it's the next night here. I got some updates. The first is on the injection pump front. I got the directions out and I kind of know what to do with that. But before I waste any time dealing with that, because this block may be bad at this point, I'm just going to do the lower end first. Second thing is I got the report in from Blackstone, which I think is a new record for them. Usually they're way slower. And I'll throw it up on screen here. Really, there's nothing here that would help, figure out what happened. Now that we already kind of know what happened, especially, but I probably shouldn't have told them that the engine was seized because they're kind of looking for something that might have been off. The aluminum and tin were a little bit higher, like they said, but I sent that sample in for the Isuzu engine on the excavator, and I think aluminum and tin were both higher, way higher on that, and that was a running engine. So anyway, not a lot here. The oil was still good. Looks like it was 30 or 40 weight. Anyway, that's a lot of talking. Let's get the bottom end undone here. Wow. I guess there is some metal kind of blown up against the side here. Just so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see it on here too. There's just metal up against the cylinder wall, or against the engine block. It's like it's been flinging metal around. This is like an E12. So that's what seems to fit. These are torque to yield, so they're no good. We'll look at these closer in a little bit. Okay, so maybe we can, oh yeah, so that's free. So that was let me keep these straight here. So that was, I can see metal sitting there in the journal, of course. Go ahead and pull this one out. This is number 2. Yeah, rings are all good, just like you'd expect. Good condition. Yeah, not bad. Just a little bit of carbon, but the rods look like they haven't been hot, so these may still be good. Yep, these all look good. A little bit, oh, there we go. Oh, jeez. So obviously the mains are what's going to be stuck here. I mean, you can see metal. So the metal went from the main oil into here for sure, which is not good. Now this one is not going to move. The rod's going to hit the block. All right, now for the bad news. Yeah, no noises on a detorquing these. Nope, there we go. There we go. Yep. Oh, there we go. Ooh, that one's really bad. Man, the smell coming out of these is very distinct. Yeah, so these caps are gone. Not good. Oh, this front plate has to come off. Oh, we'll come back to that. Can you rotate it at least? Yeah, these bearings are basically just welded to the crankshaft. Every single main. Chunks of metal. Not good. Let's see if we can get this rear one off. So we might be looking for a new engine here, unfortunately. I thought I was going to get lucky, but I don't think so. Hey, the rear bearing's good. Well, mostly. There's a lot of metal right there. All right, so we got to take this front plate off to get this last bearing cap off. So I have to pull the camshaft. Ooh. See, pump still works. That's good. What was that? There's just like a little set plate in there that holds this camshaft in, I think. There we go. I think. All right, I think I have to take the this out to get this out. I mean, that would make sense. So apparently there's some adjustments to make on this. Like the timing is adjusted by, there's a shim between this and the engine block. So, and you're supposed to replace this, well, it's a shim slash gasket. There's like 15 different ones that are different thicknesses, and you're supposed to replace it whenever you take it off, because obviously it gets, you know, smashed when you torque it down. So that sets the timing, and then this sets the, I think it sets like either the max fuel or the engine speed. I think it's max fuel. Then there's another adjustment on the cover for the engine speed. Don't really want to hit on this. Oh, there we go. Okay, the question is, do I have to remove that? Actually, you know, I can probably just cheat that out a little bit and then get the cam out. I guess the cam was catching on something here. Looks in good condition. I'm gonna leave the injection pump on for now. There's just one little spring you gotta remove, but stuff's gonna go flying all over, and it's probably not even worth it at this point. There we go. Ooh, that one took some stuff out there. Now the bearing seam is right here, so maybe you can see that. Hey, at least they give you a bunch of oil holes that lined up with one of them. Oh, it's turning. It's not seized anymore. Hallelujah. I think you gotta knock that rear main out. Or just do that. It should just pop out now. Oh yeah. Ooh, that's not pretty. These thrust bearings here have, yeah, they're still there. That one's kind of, I don't think that was even the thrust bearing. I think this is part of the, was part of the cap. So yeah, all because of that really, ooh, look at this one. You can see right through that one. Look at that oil hole. That's just all because of that like 30-cent oil pump. Cheap cast garbage. See if we can crack these bearings off. I think this is the shell right here. They're probably welded on there pretty good though. Oh, I think I got that. Just a little tap right. Where is that? It's hard to tell where the line is. No. Yeah. There it is. Yep, it's on there. All right, there's bearing number 1. Oh, that one's not too bad. Oh, that one just popped right off. So number 1's closest to the oil pump, so I'm guessing that's the reason. Look at that, it's not even, it's missing some stuff right there. There's 4 and 5 already came off. All right, all the main bearings off. Okay, well, let's take a look here. So this is the front cap, and it's, you know, not great. There's the bearings for that one. We get a focus on there. A little bit worn, a little bit. Rod bearings actually look pretty good though. I think these rods, I could reuse those if I wanted to. They were starting to go on the back, but they weren't that bad on the front side. Here's some more. Trying to get a good light here, but it's, there we go. Yeah, not good. The rear cap is pretty much undamaged. And there's a crankshaft, so that's the front there. I only really had to hammer one off, not too bad. But yeah, this, I don't think there's any saving this crank. It's pretty chewed up there. So it looks like the rear one hadn't spun yet, but these all were chewing everything up. Right there. No other damage besides that, but it's just all the mains. Well, it's kind of a shame. I mean, the engine was very well taken care of, but just this cheap cast part. Not really sure exactly why this failed, if this is just a bad casting, or maybe one other possibility, I guess, is, you know, this interfaces directly with the crankshaft gear, and maybe the backlash was really tight on it, and you know, the oil pan was sitting on all that hard packed dirt inside the machine, so maybe it was vibrating kind of weird, and the crank gear grabbed a hold of it and just, you know, torqued it off like that. I mean, that's the only other thing I can think of that would cause this. Now, I'm not really familiar with this engine. This might be a really common mode of failure, or it might not be. Could just be bad luck, but hopefully Perkins used the 25 cents per engine that they saved doing that, and they spent it on something nice for themselves. Okay, well, there's really no reason to continue on because this block is junk. It's kind of a bummer. I was hoping to get lucky, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. You know, from what I can tell, this machine was really well taken care of. You saw inside the engine, it was really clean except for all the stuff that blew up. The joints have all been greased regularly on the machine, and you know, hoses have been swapped out, and it hasn't leaked much. I think really the only thing that's wrong with it is it was never really cleaned very well, but everything else is in really good shape on it. Overall, I think I am going to come out ahead monetarily on this deal. I mean, 4,500 bucks is pretty cheap. All right, so a couple options on how to proceed. I could look out for a good either rebuildable core or a running engine that I can swap in. That's going to take a while to find something like that, I'm guessing. I've kind of already looked around and I haven't found much. I think these blocks are still available from Cat, but you're talking thousands of dollars at that point. Worst case scenario, I mean, like I said, I only have 4,500 in it. I could part that machine out. I could make more than that if I wanted to. I could swap the Rolls-Royce engine, but for now I think I'm just gonna have to table this and shove all this stuff off into a corner. Maybe I'll get lucky and forget about it. Earlier on in the video, I was doing a lot of diagnosis work trying to figure out if this block was rebuildable, because I kind of wanted to avoid the situation where I have a big pile of engine all over and I have no way to, you know, put it back together because the block is junk. So unfortunately, that's just the way it worked out. But you know, I did the best I could, I guess. To be perfectly honest though, I'm not super excited about this engine just in general. I don't really like the design of it, how it's set up. So I think once I get this back together, I'm just gonna go ahead and sell the machine and find something else. Anyway, let me know what you would do in this situation. I'm still not 100% sure on what the plan is. All right guys, it is Matt from the future here. You know, I've been editing this video together and I got to thinking while I was doing it, and I'm really leaning towards doing an engine swap now on the skid steer. I think just finding something that's more reliable and maybe easier to find, and if it's done really cleanly, it could be really nice. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I need to pick an engine out if I do go that route. Probably something by Kubota, but I'm open to anything. So if you have any suggestions or you think it's a bad idea or whatever, just let me know. This video has gone on long enough. It's enough torture, so let's end it right there. There's gonna be another update at some point. It might be a while I figure out what to do, but I'm not gonna leave this machine parked out right in front of my shop for the next 10 years. So I'll eventually figure something out to do with it. If you made it this far, thanks for watching guys, and I will catch you on the next video.